This is Part 3 Episode 109. Bai Ji's actual form was an emerald swan, and she was a healing-type soul beast. There were very few emerald swans around. They were even on the verge of extinction, and were rarer than dark golden terraclaw bears. The reason why they were about to go extinct was because they were very weak, especially at a young age. They were easily targeted as prey. In addition, their bodies were filled with natural and pure life energy. The life energy of a 100,000-year emerald swan could even compare to life gold. They were considered great nourishment to any soul beast. As a result, an emerald swan was very likely to be killed before it matured into an adult. Bai Ji was very fortunate. She had unintentionally saved an extremely weak and small soul beast when she was very young and her cultivation was very weak. Back then, she didn't know what type of soul beast it was. It was only after that incident that she realized that the father of that soul beast was an extremely strong 10,000-year soul beast. It was this 10,000-year soul beast that protected Bai Ji as she grew up for 1,000 years. After achieving 1,000-year cultivation, Bai Ji's life energy became even greater. The result of this was that she started being targeted by many soul beasts. However, she wasn't one to harbor any resentment. After her predators were defeated and hurt by her protector, she always persuaded her protector to spare them, and even treated their injuries. Gradually, some of the soul beasts that had been healed by her before decided to stay by her side to protect her. With her treatment, they were able to live longer. Bai Ji grew quickly under their protection. These soul beasts delivered the most energy-dense food from the various forests to her. Her cultivation grew significantly as a result, and her healing abilities also became stronger and stronger. There were wars between the many different types of soul beasts in the Great Star Doe Forest. As Bai Ji's abilities grew stronger and stronger, she started to appear on battlefields that involved these soul beasts. She tried her best to prevent the outbreak of wars, and healed injured soul beasts. She did her best to maintain peace in the Great Star Doe Forest. At the start, everything seemed very futile because of her lack of abilities. However, more and more soul beasts followed her as time passed. After her own abilities grew stronger, she started to gather all the emerald swans that were still alive and took them under her wing. They followed her as she completed her dream in the Great Star Doe Forest. She was successful. There was once a soul master who had tried to appraise Bai Ji's cultivation. He had placed it between 550,000 and 600,000 years. In fact, Bai Ji's actual age wasn't greater than 100,000 years. This meant that she was able to break through 5 bottlenecks in the short span of 100,000 years to reach a cultivation that was close to 600,000 years. Just in terms of cultivation speed, Di Qian was far inferior to her. Especially in the past 10,000 years, Bai Ji's abilities had grown even faster because of the three-eyed golden lion. Di Qian was able to overcome 8 bottlenecks and reach an 800,000-year cultivation, not just because of the presence of the three-eyed golden lion, but because Bai Ji was also around to protect him as he cultivated. The Great Star Doe Forest was able to develop so quickly over the past 10,000 years not just because of the three-eyed golden lion. The emerald swans that advocated peace also played an important role. There were many strong soul beasts around Bai Ji, especially in the core regions. She had greater influence than almost anyone else there. At times, even Di Qian had to consider her opinion. Of course, there was a rumor that she was Di Qian's wife, or at least, that they shared a very close relationship. Among the 10 great savage beasts, Di Qian was ranked number 1. The Evil Emperor was ranked 2nd, while the Snow Empress was ranked 3rd. Bai Ji, whose actual cultivation was around 580,000 years, was ranked 4th. Di Qian fought in the sky, while Bai Ji appeared above the soul beast army. If even she, who was someone who loved peace, advocated war, this war was bound to become even more intense. More than 100 years ago, it was Bai Ji who had persuaded Di Qian to sign a peace accord with humans when the last beast wave started. Bai Ji looked at Elder Song and gently shook her head. She replied, "No, you are wrong. Although we've been able to maintain an ecological balance in the Great Star Doe Forest over these years, humans are getting stronger and stronger. I felt greatly threatened by those weapons earlier. If we allow you to develop further, even ordinary people will be able to wield such destructive weapons, and the continent will no longer have any room for soul beasts. If we don't weaken the humans, we'll be the ones to die in the future. Elder Song sighed in her heart. She knew that humans would never gain the upper hand in this debate. A soul master's need for soul rings placed humans in a position that was on the wrong side of morality. However, how could they stop a soul master's need for soul rings? Even Shrek Academy wasn't capable of doing so. The research on spirits had gone on for some time. However, no practical progress had been achieved due to the lack of a suitable soul beast. Along with the huge changes that Hu Yuhao kept on facing, he didn't have sufficient time to discuss his research on spirits with the Martial Soul Department. If his research had yielded some progress, this beast wave might not have even started. But since this beast wave had arrived, Bai Ji had already made up her mind. Even if she hadn't, she couldn't possibly defy Di Tian's will. All soul beasts would certainly stand on Di Tian's side regarding the hatred they had for humans. Bai Ji shut her eyes. After this, she waved her right hand forward. Suddenly, the soul beast army made their move again. This time, they were even louder and more commanding than before. Fire the Zhuge divine crossbow cannons. Shishing gestured with force, and the cannons were once again fired towards the soul beast army. However, Bai Ji acted at this moment. She pushed her thin palm forward, and her wings extended completely. In addition, they were enlarging quickly, and the jade green projection expanded until it was boundless. She fluttered her wings forward and made an embracing gesture, protecting the soul beasts that were in front. Booms started to reverberate, but all the bombs were blocked by her wings. They only caused patches of jade green light to ripple, but no explosive force was able to penetrate through Bai Ji's wings. Bai Ji wasn't adept at fighting, but her presence was equivalent to the Seven Treasures glazed sect. Whether it was in terms of auxiliary or healing abilities, she was extremely strong. She brushed her wings forward, and they changed into countless streaks of jade green light. When they landed on the soul beasts, every charging soul beast was covered by a layer of jade green light. Their life energy was greatly enhanced, and all of them appeared to be very vibrant. Just like that, Bai Ji managed to provide auxiliary support to more than 3,000 soul beasts. This emerald swan, who was ranked 4th among the 10 great savage beasts, had revealed her strong abilities. She couldn't directly participate in a fight, but the abilities that she revealed on a battlefield were even more terrifying than her direct participation in a fight could be. Elder Song looked quite dismal, and green light started to shine brightly from her body. She knew that she needed to restrain Bai Ji. Otherwise, Bai Ji could provide the best logistical help to the Soul Beast army if she was allowed to unleash her full abilities. In addition, she was able to greatly boost the morale of all the soul beasts. Elder Song immediately charged into the sky. 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 5 black soul rings rose, and her 7th black soul ring shone extremely brightly. In the next moment, a hawk appeared in mid-air. It had wings more than 6 meters across, and it released green light from its body. It was Elder Song's martial soul true body, the green shadow godly hawk. As her figure flashed forwards, an extra streak of green light appeared in the sky. This streak of green light was too quick. Even using instant teleportation wouldn't yield such a speed. In the blink of an eye, she was in front of Bai Ji. A pair of sharp hawk claws extended towards Bai Ji's arms. Bai Ji was shocked by Elder Song's speed, but she didn't panic. A layer of jade green light spread from her body. When Elder Song clawed at her, she felt as if she had grabbed the thick skin of a bull. She was able to pierce Bai Ji's arms slightly, but her claws were immediately deflected away. Courting death. A deep, furious roar echoed, and a huge tiger suddenly charged into the sky. This tiger had 6 wings and dark golden fur. It was extremely ferocious. As it rose into the sky, it immediately leapt towards Elder Song. Elder Song snorted coldly, and made a deft turn in the air. She swept her extremely sturdy right wing and flung the 100,000-year, 6-winged dark golden tiger that was twice her size 100 meters away. Among all the elders from the sea god's pavilion, Elder Song was only inferior to Elder Xian in terms of cultivation. Not only was she a transcendent Doluo, but she was also the most experienced elder, since she was only younger than Elder Xian. Her cultivation was rank 97, and she was extremely strong. At the same time, she was also the mother of the martial god Doluo, Xian Lina. While a 100,000-year soul beast was extremely strong among soul beasts, it was still inferior compared to a transcendent Doluo like Elder Song. After she flung the six-winged dark golden tiger away, she turned around and charged towards Bai Ji again. A streak of green light swept towards Bai Ji like a sharp blade in the air, generating an intense sonic boom along the way. Although Elder Song admired Bai Ji, they were on a battlefield, and she was responsible for the millions of lives in Shrek City. Bai Ji's expression became much more serious. Given her cultivation, Elder Song wouldn't be her match if she was adept at fighting. However, it was a pity that this wasn't her strength. Her abilities were mainly used for mass healing or mass defense purposes. However, her own defensive strength was very weak. "Don't you dare," a roar echoed in the sky. Following that, a streak of purple light appeared in the sky like a long whip, and blocked the green blade that Elder Song had turned into. When the purple and green lights contacted each other, Elder Song immediately felt that something was wrong. It felt like the majestic and boundless aura from the purple light was about to devour her. Fortunately, it was her. When they collided, she suddenly twisted her body before shifting laterally at her highest speed, avoiding a direct clash with that purple light. Even so, her green shadow godly hawk made a few rolls and turns in the air before she managed to stabilize herself. However, Elder Song didn't stop pestering Bai Ji. As her figure flashed away, she reappeared on the other side of Bai Ji. Countless streaks of feather-shaped green light reached toward Bai Ji. That purple light that came from the sky was undoubtedly unleashed by Di Tian. He was the only one that was able to make her cut such a sorry figure. Not only was Elder Song in a sorry state, but the victor of the fight in mid-air seemed to have been decided just as Di Tian unleashed this strike. As a groan sounded, the huge Daotai godly bull fell from the sky. Its body was surrounded by purplish lightning. On his forehead, there was a pitch-black light surrounded by purple light. His eyes were also stained purple. Elder Xian. All the elders from the sea god's pavilion were frantic. Yang Xiaozhe leapt up to catch Elder Xian. However, Di Tian opened his dragon wings in mid-air, and his body shrank until his wings were only 10 meters long. He turned into a deep purplish meteor and pursued Elder Xian. It was obvious that he was after Elder Xian's life. While everyone from Shrek Academy knew that Elder Xian wasn't Di Tian's match, they hadn't expected him to only last for such a short time. Just as the Soul Beast army arrived beneath the city, Elder Xian had already been defeated by Di Tian. No matter how strong the Shrek City Defense Army was, they couldn't possibly resist an attack from the #1 savage beast in the world. Everyone's heart sank. In a war in the Doluo continent, the situation couldn't be controlled if the abilities of two top-ranked individuals were too far apart from each other. Soul beasts weren't humans, and thus they naturally didn't follow the rule that a titled Doluo couldn't directly participate in a war. Di Tian didn't care about that rule at all. If he was given the liberty to do anything he wanted, he could quickly obliterate Shrek City on his own. At that critical moment, an elderly-sounding voice suddenly resonated out. "Di Tian, don't go overboard." A beam of golden light rose from the east of Shrek City. As this beam of golden light shot into the sky, it gradually grew in size and quickly turned into a huge, golden dragon. It first grabbed Elder Xian's body, before dispelling the purplish-black ball in his forehead. After this, it turned around, and a huge dragon tail swept out and clashed against Di Tian, who was in hot pursuit of Elder Xian. Instantly, the earth turned golden, and the sky turned extremely dark and gloomy. A terrifying aura spread, and filled the entire battlefield. All the humans and soul beasts stopped at this moment, and turned their attention towards the sky. The gold and black lights were divided into two layers, and they were even balanced out in the air as they were released. Both of the huge dragons also retreated at the same time. Dragon God Doluo Mu Ien, you aren't dead. Di Qian sounded astonished. His mighty aura seemed to be slightly curbed too. Di Qian, I'll protect Shrek even if I'm dead. Shrek can't be treated with disrespect. Don't forget, all 7 members of the first generation of Shrek's 7 monsters have become gods. How dare you be so brazen as to lead a beast wave to attack Shrek City? Aren't you afraid of incurring the wrath of heaven? At your cultivation, you should know that the realm of gods is real. The elderly-sounding voice appeared to be slightly angry. The godly Dao Tai Bull also finally managed to stabilize himself. Elder Xian's body was covered in wounds, but they were quickly healing under the protection of the golden dragon. So you really are dead. You just used a special method to preserve a part of your spirit and powers. Mu Ien, you couldn't think of stopping me even if you were alive. So what if the realm of gods exists? Are they going to interfere in the affairs of the continent? I've no intention of becoming a god, either. What's there to be scared of? I'll destroy your spirit to avenge the 3-eyed golden lion. As he spoke, Di Qian looked into the sky and roared. His black scales started to shine with purple light. Xianzi, Dao Tai. Elder Mu's voice was very stern. His appearance also caused Shrek City to be engulfed in a layer of gentle, golden light. Teacher. Yang Xiaozhe was tearing up uncontrollably at this moment. He kneeled down in the air. All the elders from the Sea God's pavilion all bowed slightly. They greeted the dragon god Doluo, who still continued to protect Shrek after he was dead. Yes, Elder Mu wasn't completely dead. What Elder Xian had secretly told Hu Yuhao to help him out of his misery was true. Elder Mu was physically dead, but he was an ultimate Doluo. All the previous ultimate Doluo were able to hide their soul power, and part of their spirits in the golden tree, and lived along with the golden tree. Given the cultivation of an ultimate Doluo, he could at least remain in the golden tree for 100 years, before he was absorbed by the golden tree, and became nutrients for it. Not all ultimate Doluo chose to do so. After all, one spirit wouldn't be able to reincarnate if he did this. He would eventually become a part of the golden tree. However, Elder Mu chose this path with no future. He had sensed that Shrek was about to face a huge catastrophe in the next century. Initially, he felt that he had to protect Shrek, because of Yishishure. Elder Mu was an open-minded person. To him, so what if his spirit couldn't reincarnate? If he could reincarnate, he would still forget everything in his past life. There was no meaning to it. Moreover, he wasn't one who believed in spiritual reincarnation. Perhaps he could still keep a shred of his consciousness, if he depended on the magical golden tree. After all, he was probably Shrek Academy's strongest soul master in the past 1,000 years. Because of this, Elder Mu's spiritual imprint and his soul power were concealed within the golden tree. It was just that he couldn't unleash the same strength that he could as the dragon god Doluo without his physical body. However, this didn't change his determination to protect Shrek. Furthermore, he was the most familiar with Di Qian among all the strong individuals in Shrek Academy. His appearance immediately changed the disadvantageous situation Shrek was in. After hearing Elder Mu's command, Elder Xian perked up, and the godly Dao Tai Bull let out a deep roar. His body shone brightly with yellow light, and auspicious clouds rose underneath his feet as he flew towards the sky once again. At the same time, Elder Mu's radiant holy dragon also turned into a streak of flowing light and spiraled towards Elder Xian. As it surrounded him, intense golden light started to surge into Elder Xian's body. The Dao Tai godly bull's body started to transform significantly. He gradually turned bright golden, and the earth and light elements perfectly fused with each other. Golden scales started to grow on his body, and his spiral-shaped horns started to twist before adopting the structure of antlers. His 4 hooves started to become more human. A huge eye grew from each of his armpits. His face became thinner, and Elder Xian's appearance was revealed. It was just that his eyes had an aura that belonged to Elder Mu. His body shrank a little, and he no longer looked like a bull, but a goat instead. His head and jaws became extremely large. As he opened his mouth, he revealed sharp tiger's teeth. He now had the face of a goat and the teeth of a tiger. At this moment, Elder Xian was no longer the Dao Tai godly bull. When his martial soul was fused in a different way by Elder Mu, and his dragon bloodline was made purer, he had now transformed into the Dao Tai, one of the dragon god's 9 sons. The dragon god had split, and turned into the golden dragon and silver dragon. They had inherited the physical and spiritual strength of the dragon god, respectively. Before the dragon god split, he had had 9 sons, who had also inherited part of his abilities and bloodline. Among them, there was the ancestor of the earth dragons, and the chief of the flying dragons, while there were those who entered deep valleys and slept in volcanoes. The dragon god's 9 sons weren't able to procreate. However, they were very strong once. When the golden and silver dragon kings were still young, they had once led the dragons to rule the Doluor continent. However, they passed away one by one, and their bloodlines were partially passed down to future generations. The rule of dragons stopped when the golden dragon king died accidentally, and the silver dragon king disappeared, leaving the dragons leaderless. The soul beasts that they ruled started a rebellion and overthrew them. However, even until this day, humans and soul beasts still recognized dragons as immensely strong. Human historians still believed that the dragon's rule did not stop because of how strong the rebelling soul beasts were. Rather, it was because of some issues with the passing down of their bloodlines. This video will end here.